Record. Okay, you're now live on Channel 8.
And we are recording on this Zoom, right? Looks like it.
Yes.
Okay, I will, at 6:35, I will open tonight's meeting of the Lunenburg Select Board, Monday, November 16th, 2020. In accordance with the requirement of the open meeting law, please be advised that this meeting is being recorded and broadcast over the Lunenburg Public Access Channel. Town of Lunenburg, in response to the COVID-19 pandemic, is currently following the guidance from the Lunenburg Board of Health, Massachusetts Department of Public Health, and the CDC regarding the virus and steps communities can take to prevent its spread. All town facilities are open, but during limited hours, outside of the hours posted by appointment only. In accordance with the governor's order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20, all public meetings are being conducted remotely. This meeting will be broadcast live through local access cable and on Facebook Live on the Public Access Facebook page, and you will be able to find it on the Lunenburg Access YouTube channel within 24 hours of its conclusion. If you would like to join this and participate in this meeting, and you have a computer, a tablet, or a smartphone, you can use the Zoom app, and the webinar ID is 909-174-0347. If you do not have one of those smart devices and only have access to a telephone, you can dial in 1-888-475-4499, and once again, the webinar ID is 909-174-0347. For those using the Zoom app, please find the raise your hand function, because that's how you are indicating to me that you want to speak. If you are on a telephone, you can raise your hand by dialing *9. This agenda lists all the topics which may be discussed at the meeting and are those reasonably anticipated by the chair. Votes may be taken as a result of these discussions. Not all items listed may in fact be discussed, and other items not listed may also be brought up for discussion to the extent permitted by the open meeting law. So roll call vote to open this. Mr. Marino, who is, yep, Mr. Marino.
Present.
Mr. Jeffries.
Aye, present.
Mr. Dwyer.
Here.
And I am here, and we have Madam Town Manager.
Present.
Okay. We have our usual person who does the pledge. Ms. Adams is not here, so I guess I will lead the pledge. So I don't have a flag, sorry. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is at a not a normal meeting. We've taken this to talk about one subject, but before we start, we do have public comment. Is there any public comment from the board this evening? Seeing no hands raised. Is there any public comment from the public? Also seeing no hands raised. Okay. So we have a meeting with Sean O'Neill of Bright Farms regarding the TIF. I have not heard word that Mr. O'Neill would not be here, but his presence is not needed. There is an agreement that was sent to us all that was worked out between Bright Farms, Mr. O'Neill and his council, and our town council to finalize the last two pieces of verbiage that came up at last Tuesday's meeting. Is everybody in the board in acceptance? Have they found, do they have that in front of them? And have they read through it?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
So my understanding, and I'll let you take us through this if there are other things, the two things that were brought up last week was that there was a second reference to 60 employees that was remedied to, basically it didn't mention any number now, it just reflects the section of the agreement that says it's 60 and it can go down to 48 and no lower than 48. And then the second one, Madam Town Manager, do you want to point out where that is?
B10. It just references the original paragraph, B1.
Right. And the other one was the last sentence I'm trying to find the in
A4.
A4, yeah. So the last sentence in A4, where they reference, the possibility of a phase 2, and there was some wordsmithing that was trying to be done on the fly, but what's in the document here is basically acknowledges that the Bright Farms acknowledges that they potentially could go on with a phase 2. The town recognizes that, yes, you may go on with a phase 2. We acknowledge that that might be a possibility. And although we don't obligate ourselves to anything, we can talk about a phase 2. I'm paraphrasing here. Basically, we can talk about a phase 2 when phase 2 is proposed. And it is separate and apart from this agreement, which is the phase 1 agreement. Madam Town Manager, are there any other substantive things that have changed? I don't believe so, but I just offer it to you.
Wouldn't call them substantive, but I'll point out the other changes.
Okay.
Because Mr. O'Neill did say there were other things that his council had brought to his attention, but did not go into detail last Tuesday. So under A4 as well, that on the bottom of that page 2, to delete the exemption percentages for the final 5 years. So our council and their council agreed it. The previous sentence where it defines the maximum exemption for the 996,600, that meets what we're trying to achieve. Is so basically 8 years is the maximum term of the agreement, but if that maximum exemption, the 996, is achieved before year 8, the agreement terminates. Does that make sense?
So for anybody listening, the 2 guardrails on this agreement are it cannot last more than 8 years, or will not last more than 8 years, and it cannot exceed the 960,600 tax incentive.
996,600.
That's what, did I not say that? $996,600.
Yeah.
So that's clarifying that. So just in case anybody is unaware or was unsure.
Another change was B3, changing the completion date. They said that date realistically is December of the 2020, December 31st of 2021. It's not achievable by June 30th, what we originally put in.
And we should note that until they have occupancy and this agreement is put into effect, any improvements that they make to that, all the incremental additions that the Board of Assessors may assess, they will be charged for the full taxes on that until they reach completion, at which point the TIF will engage. So if they're 50% complete by September, they're going to pay the whole tax on the 50% improvement up to that point.
Okay. And B4 is just a language change our council agreed to affect the donation of the portion of land that is for conservation. And B13 is to add in regarding information requested that's non-confidential and the word reasonably. And C1 was deletion of that sentence, any transaction or series of transactions, because it was in contradiction to the previous sentence. So our council came up with the additional, a couple words that were put in the last sentence of that paragraph. And those are the only changes.
So I would offer it up to the board if there's any discussion points, any questions for the town manager. Anybody? Okay, so seeing none, I think that we'd be ready to vote. I would entertain a motion regarding the TIF agreement that we just reviewed, the latest version, draft number 7 in our Google Drive for the TIF agreement with Bright Farms.
Mr. Chair, can you just add that the motion include that the Lunenburg Select Board recommends approval of this agreement to the special town meeting?
Yes, so whoever makes the motion that we approve, that we will recommend that this vote also means not only are we agreeing to this agreement in its form, but when we present it to town meeting tomorrow, it also means that we will recommend approval for this article tomorrow evening.
I will move to accept the agreement as written and note that the select board approves the article.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Mr. Jeffries.
Just so I'm clear, I don't know if I heard it correctly. Did you say that you're recommending approval as well at town for the article?
Yes.
That's what he said, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, roll call vote. Mr. Marino,
Aye.
Mr. Dwyer,
Aye.
Mr. Jeffries,
Aye.
and an aye for me. So this is the document that we will be presenting. Again, the financials of this document have not changed in several weeks. So it's really just the final acceptance of the jobs and some of the verbiage. So that is all on our agenda. I would ask if there's any public comment from the public before we leave the meeting. Rhonda, are you looking to speak or no? Rhonda, if you're still on and you want to speak, I can't hear you. You're not muted.
No,
Oh, okay. Okay. I just want to
No.
make sure I didn't miss you. So,
okay, thanks.
okay. So we are, any final public comment from the board? Let's take this as a model. This would be a great short meeting every week. We just have to keep it to one agenda item. All right, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn. Well, before we adjourn, for anybody listening, tomorrow, 7 o'clock is the special town meeting at the middle school, high school auditorium. Please, the check-in starts at 5:30. It is fully following the COVID-19 protocol, so please bring a mask, have a mask, and there'll be distancing. There'll be seats marked out. We do need a quorum of 50 people. So hopefully we'll get more than that. There's a lot more than this TIF agreement for a very unique business opportunity, economic development opportunity in town. There's also street lights. There's also budgets, budget adjustments, etc. So we need people's involvement in their attendance. And I hope to see everybody there tomorrow evening. We should, again, run it efficiently. It should only go a couple hours. Of course, it depends on how many questions and discussion points there are, but we're going to be as prepared as we always can be to answer those. So please don't forget that tomorrow evening. Okay, now we can entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make the motion. We adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, Mr. Jeffries,
Aye.
Mr. Dwyer,
Aye.
Mr. Marino,
Aye.
and an aye for me. Good night, everyone. I hope to see you tomorrow evening at the Lunenburg High School. Bye-bye.
Aye.
Have a good
Good night.